Hey, family, welcome back to the channel. It's Tariro here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am so happy to have you here with me for yet another word of encouragement. I appreciate your time and I pray that this word will be a blessing to you. And I recommend and invite you to share this video with somebody who comes to mind when you listen to this that you believe will also be blessed by this word. Today, I wanted to get on here and talk to you about what happens when you have been trusting God for something and it seems like He just doesn't show up or He's not showing up, right? And I want to acknowledge that this can create a lot of disappointments, right? And disappointments are hard to swallow for everybody, especially if and when it feels like that is all life keeps handing you. I know for me, this is something that I have experienced a lot of. And because of that, it created this weird way of coping within me. I like to look at, the best in things and in people and in situations, right? Always wanting to look at the bright side of things. And often the thought that in me doing that, I might end up being let down was never a conscious thought process before, right? I had to face a lot of disappointments until I got to the point where I became conscious that, whenever I do give the benefit of the doubt to a particular person or to a situation or event, then I find myself disappointed or let down at the end of it, right? So now, and I look at it, it is something that is possible to get disappointed, but that doesn't keep me from making a decision that still results in me hoping for the best possible outcome, right? I still find myself always giving second chances and always wanting to believe that this time is going to be different, right? And then if I'm let down, I'll be like, you know what? Maybe this time it will be different. And then on and on I go. What I have learned ever since my journey, towards moving with God again as the center of my life is that a lot of what we believe about God will be based off of what we believe about life in general and about other people as well. In other words, what you feel insecure about is like in the most important relationships in your life, rather, will be the same insecurity you will project onto your relationship with God. And the same goes the other way. What you feel secure about is what you will feel secure about in your relationship with God. For example, if in your most valued relationship, let's say it is your a relationship with your mother or your father, right? There is lack of trust that you experience, and you believe that your mother or your father or both of them don't care about your needs or what you want, then that belief is what you would tend to believe about God. And if you believe that your mother or your father really cares about your well-being and your needs and your wants, then that is what you would tend to believe about God and your relationship with God, right? So you find yourself praying to God and believing Him to deliver on some promises, right? And based on what you are leaning towards, whether you believe that He cares for you and He will answer your prayers, then you will find that that is the result that you will get, right? Considering it is in alignment with God's will. And if you believe that God doesn't care about you and He doesn't, answer your prayers and He doesn't really care much about your needs, then you will discover that when you pray, it will just seem as if God is not coming through on your prayers, at least not in the way you want or hope He would. So then in your mind, you take it as confirmation for what you believe, right? Which is, I knew He wouldn't answer. No one cares about my needs. Just like my mother and my father, why would God be any different, right? Of course, he doesn't care about my needs. Of course, he won't answer my prayers. Of course, he didn't come through. Of course, he let me down. So this will be the narrative that will run in your mind based off of what you believe. Now, people who teach on the Bible, that will be like priests and evangelists and basic teachers of the Bible, and even the Bible itself, we are taught, and it expresses that God is a loving Father who wants to provide for all your needs. I, for one, believe that. There was a time I didn't believe it because it aligned with a belief just like it, right? That I could never really live a life where that is possible for me. The thing is, God does want to provide for us. He wants us to live life in peace, in abundance, in joy, in love, and so much more. All the promises that he spoke over your life from the time you were in your mother's womb, he wants to fulfill. In the book of Jeremiah, God says to Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. This truth, although he was speaking to Jeremiah, it applies to you and me today. God knew you before he formed you in the womb, and he set you apart for a special purpose. He may not have ordained you to be a prophet, like, for other people, but he most certainly ordained you for something. There is a gift and a talent, if not plural, that he spoke over your life and spoke into you that are just within you, waiting for you to realize them and to begin using them and to walk in them, right? And what those are, that is between you and him. He is the only one who can give you the answers to that, to what they are, to what that purpose that he spoke over your life is. He is the only one who can give you all that you need as well. However, that can only happen once you decide to change your beliefs. God is not going to go against your will and beliefs, no matter how much he may want to. I believe in some instances he will do that in the most extreme cases, or where he sees you are not able to. But where he sees and knows you are able, he will give you the grace to do so, to take the initiative towards shifting your life by renewing your mind. It's about you meeting him halfway, proving to him that you can take charge of your life, and you believe in him, and you believe that he is able to help you and guide you towards living the life that he spoke over you, right? This is part of you serving the kingdom of heaven, taking that initiative to walk in your purpose. And the truth for you to remember and to keep in mind is he loves you and would love to see you live your life in the truth of what he spoke over your life. Yes, he spoke over your life, okay? He didn't skip you. You are not the exception to the rule. So start speaking words over yourself and over your life that are in alignment to that. Begin the process of affirming it and read what God had to say and has to say in the Bible to help you along the way. I am not saying once you start, then the shift is going to happen overnight. It may in some areas of your life. However, keep in mind that it is a process. The process of changing your mind takes time, because if you have had a belief that has operated in your life for years, you cannot expect for it to change overnight. It takes time. It takes you praying about it, praying for God's grace to help you change your mind, and you playing your part by affirming that shift that you want to make in your mind, right? This is a process that is going to require you to start now. The moment you decide you want to change, start making that change and be consistent and courageous. Above all, be determined to start telling a different story about your life, about yourself, and most importantly, about God and your experience of him. because it truly can be a beautiful thing that will blow your mind in every best way possible. And I believe in you. I believe in all of us. I believe that this is what God wants for you, and this is what God wants for me. This is what God wants for all his children, right? And it is about you choosing to believe it. And that is already half the battle won. Choosing to believe it, because then the process of you showing up every day to change and renew your mind is just going to become easier and more joyful for you. That's it for me today. I pray that this word has blessed you. And once again, if you believe that there's somebody who needs to hear these words, that will be blessed by these words, then please do share this video with them. I thank you so much for listening, and I will check you tomorrow for the next video. Take care, family.